You see, in the Professor Layton series, we're meant to click on objects that stand out in order to find hint coins. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. Step 4. Step 5. Step 6. Step 7. Step 8. Step 9. Step 10. Step 11. Oops. Just like this, the most nightmarishly cluttered room I've ever seen. I'm like, here I go. I've heard all about you, Missy. I know you've been asking around town about that box. Oh, but I just... Before you say anything, I don't care who your dear old dad is. No one is above the law. In my eyes, anyone out chasing the Elysian box moves to the top of my suspects list. No, you've got it all wrong. Sir? If you wouldn't mind? What is it, Barton? Can't you see I'm in the middle of something here? Yes, about that, sir. The criminal we seek killed a man to obtain the Elysian box, so the villain should have it already. If the young lady was our culprit, she'd have no need to ask around about the box, in my opinion, sir. Oh, is that so, Barton? I don't recall ever asking for your analysis of the situation. Terribly sorry, sir. Please forgive my momentary lapse in judgment. I'll just be going now. Going where? Aren't you? Isn't your whole job to be next to this guy, basically? Barton, get back here this instant. I'll have your nightstick, I swear. He's stupid. I'm saved. Hey, that's the girl we saw at the station in Dropstone. What was her name? Katie? No, that's not it. I believe you're thinking of Mr. Anderson's daughter, Katya. Yes, that's the one. Who'd have thought she'd be headed to the same place as us? Let's get caught up on the journal. Whoa. Thanks to Luke, the livestock competition concluded as planned, but on a separate note, the most recent rumors I've heard in Dropstone concern a mysterious phantom only accessible by the Military Express, Phantom Town. Once we're back on the train, I'd love to give the interior another thorough examination to see if there might be some kernel of truth within this rumor. The idea of a Phantom Town just seems really goofy because it's like, if a whole town of people has to live here, that's a lot of traffic. Like, too much traffic for it to be secret. Back at the station, I noticed a large group of people bidding farewell to a young woman boarding our train all by herself. I'm sure she was none other than Mr. Anderson's daughter, Katya. Though she was traveling alone, she didn't seem apprehensive at all. No, she seemed quite focused on the task at hand. I do wonder, though, why has she set out on her own, and where is she headed? While exploring the deluxe car of the Military Express, Luke, Flora, and I were suddenly hit with the overwhelming urge to nap. Luke says he dreamed of two trains headed in opposite directions that swapped one of their rail cars. Was the clamor I heard while asleep the sound of those cars changing places? Shortly after waking up from my sudden slumber, the conductor announced that our next stop was the town known as Folsense. I find this odd, as I was sure our next destination was the town of Luxembourg. It appears that the car we fell asleep in really did change tracks, and was the only one from our original train to reach this new destination. Upon exiting the train in Folsense, Flora began to complain of feeling unwell. I imagine the cause of her discomfort is simply fatigue caused by too much travel. While I'm anxious to start an inspection of the surroundings, Flora's comfort must be first. There must be a hotel around here where she can rest up. She's faking, right? Like, wasn't she swapped out? I think she was swapped out back at the competition, or back when we were leaving town, if I remember correctly. It's been a few weeks. After locating and checking into a hotel, Flora decided to stay behind to recuperate while Luke and I began to an investigation around our town. Our first mission is to locate any and all places that appear to have connection with the Elysian box. Oh my god, there's way more than I thought. It appears Beluga and Sammy, the train's conductor, are here in full sense as well. From what I can tell, this isn't the first time here. It's clear they're both turning the town upside down in search of something, but as to what that something might be, I'm still without a clue. The way that the journals have escalated makes me think this is like the actual location of the game. And we're probably done with the train, and this is like the main location. While walking about town, Luke and I came across a diary-like book. The book is rigged with a number of locks that prevented me from reading the majority of its contents. The cover is adorned with a sinister-looking goat, which has piqued my interest. I wonder what, if any, significance it might have. It seems that everyone has found their way to Full Sense. I just ran into Inspector and Constable Barton. The inspector explained that they are in town collecting information of the Elysian box. If I could just get him to cooperate with me, we could learn a great deal about this place and in very little time, but he seems determined to work this case on his own. I don't know how much you can learn together, necessarily. I have a bit of a problem with the narrative of this game. I have a number of problems. I've already been, like, iffy about, like, the tone of, like, their weird reference for, fancy things and stuff, but, like, talking about it as a Sherlock Holmes story, which is what, like, is more or less the point of, like they're doing... they're directly referencing and taking influence from Sherlock Holmes. Like, they're iterating on the Sherlock Holmes idea. Like, you have Sherlock and Watson, you have the main character who's the genius investigator, and the side character that's a bit of a rube / semi-apprentice, because they're kind of gonna be taking interest on stuff and picking up on things, but they also, like, don't really keep up because they're supposed to make the other person look really smart and clever by comparison. Like, they're Sherlock and Watson. That's, like, the premise of this kind of thing. That's also why there's a rube, a police investigator that's also along, that's here separately and is there to, like, pick up on the wrong hooks and be wrong all the time to make the two of them both look even more smarter, while also being a potential, like, not exactly antagonist, but like a roadblock at times and so on. Like, they're riffing directly on Sherlock Holmes. That's the point. But, like, they don't deduce shit. Not really. Like, the most deduction they've done lately pretty much is, like, they found which cow was the right cow, and they searched a whole train to find that where this one lady's kid was, which turned out to be a dog. And they're like, oh, it's a dog, I get it. But, like, noteworthy when it comes to stuff like this, like, oh wow, what's up with the missing daughter thing? And then they just, like, proceed to not look for the missing daughter, and she just happens to be going where they're going already. And then they're like, they don't solve how to come here, which seems kind of crucial. They do not solve or observe how to arrive at the town, despite the lead up to this mystery ticket being, like, the main mystery so far. And, like, this, everything in the narrative was functionally leading up to us being here, and they're putting the pieces in place for certain characters to arrive in the right places and so on. But, like, Leighton and Luke do coincidentally arrive in the exact right place at the right time to end up here, which is that they essentially break into the front car, or the first class car or whatever, but they didn't know that this was going to happen. In fact, it's really arbitrary. We were never allowed access to that car. We never, like, gained permission to get to that car. We just arbitrarily, it became the objective to solve the puzzle on the door and get in, which we could have done at any time, but before then we refused to try that, I guess. Or I guess you could say it's because the guy was in the way, but I'm saying, like narratively, there's no distinction between the rest of the game and us suddenly going to the car. And then the moment we get to that car, we go to the exact correct room, get knocked out, and then wake up here with zero input from the player to investigate or explore, but also Luke and Leighton did not know that the train did that. So they didn't solve anything or deduce what was happening. They just coincidentally walked to the exact place and happened to just have it go out that way. And I think about how, like, obviously people writing rules for narrative is always sketchy a little bit. Like, they're like the idea that there's like universal rules for stuff, but like the Zero Escape games and some other places will cite this one like list of rules for a mystery, because there's enough of a formula that there's like enough like rules that you should like. I wonder if I can bring it up actually. Rules for a mystery story. Ronald Knox, The Ten Commandments of Detective Fiction, yeah. The criminal must be someone mentioned in the early part of the story, but must not be anyone whose thoughts the reader has been allowed to follow. Like, that's a fun element of it. Heavy Rain kind of breaks this rule, but that's a good idea. It's like, okay, the investigation has to set up the villain early on. You can't just have them be an invisible character you never meet throughout the narrative, because that's not satisfying. 2. All supernatural and preternatural agencies are ruled out as a matter of course. That's probably the most ignorable rule. You totally can have some crazy supernatural shit in your mystery. You just have to like have it be a part of the rule set and all that. 3. Not more than one secret room or passage is allowable. That's just like the basics of like having a comprehensible setting, essentially. Password breaks this rule by having 50 billion random doors all the time for seemingly no reason other than convenience. No hitherto undiscovered poisons may be used, nor any appliance which will need a long scientific explanation at the end. That's just a reference to good and bad writing, essentially. Don't have a big convoluted thing. I do appreciate that rule because it's funny, because you can to some extent deduce. It gives you some context for when this was written and what particular tropes might have been particularly annoying at the time, essentially. This is an especially dated rule. No Chinaman must figure in the story. Okay. I imagine that meant. I imagine this meant something more comprehensible once, like a Deus Ex Machina mysticism thing going on or something. Because even in the 90s, there's a weird number of stories that feature the Chinaman just kind of mixed in, like Warriors of Virtue and Gremlins, like just weird children's movies would randomly have the Chinese guy show up and magically make the story happen. So I'm not ready to unpack that, but obviously it sounds racist on its face, but I'm sure it has a specific trope narratively what it's referring to. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he have an unaccountable intuition which proves to be right. There we go. That's the rule I was thinking of. Luke and Leighton, if I'm remembering this correctly, got here by accident. Like, what's satisfying about an investigative narrative is that the people solve the stuff. So having them not figure out how the train works until after they're already here, and then Luke, like, one, they get here by accident, so the first half of the rule is broken there, where they get here via, whoops, we walked into the room, and like, they don't know the roses knock you out, they don't know the train changes spots, but then on top of that, Luke just has a magic dream that explains to him what happened. So Luke also has an unaccountable intuition that proves to be right. That might be slightly shaky because he's physically experiencing the train doing that while he's asleep, so maybe it's like the reality is affecting his dream on that level, but it's like, it's just really shaky for a mystery narrative to not have your Sherlock and Holmes figure out the train in order to get to the town. Having it just be, they tripped. Oh, they're here now, essentially. And maybe I'm missing a line, like I'm forgetting a line about them being on the track, essentially, but on track for the clue, not physically being on the tracks of the train. Let's see, what else is there? The detective must not himself commit the crime. Heavy Rain breaks that rule. The detective must not light on any clues which are not instantly produced for the inspection of the reader. Sherlock, the television show, breaks that rule constantly by having Sherlock constantly discover rules but never actually he just off-screen solves entire mysteries and the reader never gets to know what's happening, which is frustrating. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must not conceal any thoughts which pass through his mind. His intelligence must be slightly, but very slightly, below that of the average reader. That is a great way of describing it. The stupid friend is slightly mean, but Watson's the POV character of Sherlock. His role is to explain things to the reader by letting you inhabit his mind. So his job is to discover stuff at roughly the rate at which you're meant to be understanding the story. So exposition happens to Watson. Watson thinks things, and he needs to be slightly dumber than the reader so that he can need to reason things out and explain things in a way that's comprehensible to most readers, and not be ahead of the reader. Because if he's ahead of the reader, then you might lose the reader, and they lost the one person that's supposed to keep them anchored in the story. And obviously, if he keeps secrets from the reader, then that doesn't work. That whole relationship doesn't work. So having him be Luke is great because he's just a child who is inherently honest and straightforward and just says shit at you, essentially. I'm trying to think if this dynamic happens at all with Phoenix Wright and May. Was her name May or Maya? It's been a while, but sometimes I think the side character is a little smarter than Phoenix Wright. I think the interesting dynamic is that Phoenix Wright is kind of the Watson and the Sherlock at times. He has a side character with a different set of talents that helps him out, but Phoenix Wright is still the perspective character because he has to be simultaneously smart enough to be a lawyer and be able to be competent in his job, but dumb enough that the player can inhabit him and be physically choosing all of the clues for him, and still getting lectured at times by his sidekick. So that's why I think why he's a very specific, strange protagonist in that game. Those games have their own particular vibe because of that particular dynamic. So Phoenix Wright is not the expert that's ahead of the audience or you, because he's you. It speaks to why you usually don't inhabit that character, and it's why this game kind of plays fast and loose on who you even are sometimes. Between Luke and Leighton, you kind of just are a third person watching them. The last rule's funny. Twin brothers and doubles generally must not appear unless we have been duly prepared for them. You can't just, like, surprise us with a twin, and just, like, cheat at the end of the story by having there be a twin at the end, as opposed to, like, having it be a part of the narrative that we're prepared for being worried about. And this is all part of the fun game. You watch a murder investigation thingy, like Murder on the Nile or whatever, and when these kinds of weird elements are introduced, like, if there is a twin or something, that inherently primes you to be like, well, then is it them? And you have, like, you inherently are more suspicious of that character because you're like, well, the trope would be, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, there's my Professor Layton rant. My over-involved analysis of a narrative that, if we're being frank, is just kind of very bare bones, because it's a reason to do a bunch of unrelated puzzles. Hope you like the song that was looping the whole time. Through asking around, we've learned of an institution known as the Herson Museum. I believe that we might find some information pertaining to the Elysian box there, and I am planning to visit it next. Yeah, it's frustrating that they solved the flowers and the track change and the ticket and it explaining where it's going to take us. They solved all three of those after all three of those pieces of information were useless because we're already here. That's a bad mystery. Like, that's just not a good resolution of those things. It's particularly, there are mysteries that can do that kind of things, but if you have a Sherlock type and you're supposed to be playing as an investigator and not just like, as opposed to like a horror movie where stuff happens at you, I think that's the distinction here. And it's funny to compare this to a horror story because it's not going for that. But in a Sherlock-y type story, an investigator story, the investigator usually solves things right before they come into play. often maybe a little too late to do something about it. Like that's where the drama can happen. He's like, oh God, this is what it means. And you go off and then you try to react and you're too late and the story keeps going or something maybe. But they usually do get the chance to solve the thing before it's just given to them as an answer. Or like solving a thing after it's irrelevant. Like, oh, the ticket meant this all along. Like, okay, we're here though already, so who cares? In a horror story, you often get the explanation for the mystery after it's too late and after the fact, because the protagonist is meant to be out of step and powerless and so on, and so that stuff happens much more in those contexts. Is this the same room I was just in? Yes, it is. Greetings, you funny man.
Now there's a couple of mugs I've seen before.
Hey, I know you.
And I know you, and I know fate, because that's what brought you, me, and that swell tea set of yours together. Now that we're all reunited, I say we celebrate with a cup of tea. Brew me something nice, would you?
You want us to make tea for you?
That's right, whippersnapper. But nothing fancy, a cup of Bell Classic would do the trick. It's so easy to make, even a baby could do it. A baby with a magic tea set, that is. Anywho, all you need is some oasis leaf, a little brisk berry, and a sprinkle of bell tart seed.
Brew. Shit. Oasis brisk bell. That's one of the ones we already had the whole time. Gotcha. Right, I went on for long enough that I lost track of my original reason why I started bringing it up. Is it just this one? I guess I have to do it from this menu.
Fantabulous. A smile spreads across the... Oh, that's not his voice. It's not his voice.
Fantabulous. A smile spreads across Scarfin's face. He seems restored and cheerful.
Not a bad cup of tea you make, Shorty.
I'm a child.
Of course, you wouldn't have pulled it off without my expert direction, so don't get cocky. You know, this town's full of thirsty folks. You got the tea set, so the way I see it, it's your responsibility to help people. If you manage to help everyone out with the tea break, good things will happen. This, I promise. It'll only pad out the game by a few more hours of gameplay from a tedious minigame.
Gosh, Professor, what do you think? How much good can we really do with one cup of tea? Oh, a fair bit, Luke. A gentleman never underestimates the power of a cup of hot tea. Well, when you put it like that, I suppose it couldn't hurt to spread the wealth.
Ah, he transformed into a tall man.
Yeah, I remember now. The reason I went on that rant in particular was because of the fact that I was like a little... I think I was thinking about it last episode still, but also like having the inspector here, and I'm like, you set this guy up to be an idiot. His job is to be wrong and stupid and always on the wrong page. But you set up a mysterious, like, whatever and 3/4 station mystery train that takes you to a mystery town. An extremely convoluted, hyper-secret way of getting to a place. And he's already here. I'm like, what? But he's an idiot. His whole job is to be so comically dumb and wrong about anything that the narrative should just leave him behind and he shouldn't be able to find his way here. But he also ends up here. And it's not entirely clear if he was... I'm not entirely clear if he was on the train and got here via the secret stop like we did, coincidentally, or if we left him back in town, because I don't remember getting back on the train, and then he just came here, which implies you could just, like, drive here normally. And this super secret place with a super secret train station actually is just a normal town you can just get to normally via other non-train means, which is also funny. But either way, it's just weird that he's immediately here, because you're like, but but secret passage and stuff. What? Golly, you two sure are running around a lot. Makes me tired just watching you. Why don't you rest a spell with this puzzle I got here? Here are 4 circular flower beds, each with a radius of 10 feet. The way they're arranged forms a space between them. Can you find the area in square feet of the section colored red below? Ignore the width of the border around the flower beds when calculating your answer. Let's see. Each is a radius of 10 feet. There's a space between them. So what is the area of the space between them plus one of the circles? The area of square feet, the area colored below. What I'm wondering is that, particularly, so area of a circle's pi are squared, but I don't imagine that they want me to calculate something with pi in a DS game with no calculator and so on, in particular because the inputs are so simple. So it's going to be like a nice round number. That's what I'm kind of pausing on, is I'm trying to reject doing a complex mathematical solution because I'm like, but it's a Professor Layton game. Not that calculating pi is a super deep calculation, but it's like literally beyond the input systems we normally have available here. I'm just kind of curious, like, let's see. I don't think the tips of these line up with the circle, the middle of each circle. It's not like this is going to be 10 wide exactly. But I'm trying to like look at this for a bit because I figure there's like a visual trick to parsing what it is. One of my first instincts is just the idea that like if it's a radius of 10, then it's got a diameter of 20. And like, is it just 20 times 20? Is it just 400? Like, does this shape somehow like perfectly make it? God, it's so far off from where my mouse is clicking. Like, do these 4 corners match up with these 4 corners and just make it a perfect square? So it definitely like kind of feels like the direction that a game like this would go in. Yeah, let's be honest, I'm probably already right. Oop. Hey, it's too many digits. That's a bad 0.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Saw the smile.
And there we have it.
Oh, drawing the lines diagonally would have made it more apparent. Yep. I was on the right track, though. I just kind of visually clocked it, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be 400. Golly. Ran through that puzzle so fast it made my head spin. You're one of those people who does everything by all slick like, her. I get tired just thinking about it. Pepper cherry. Are these real? I don't know, tea. Are these real things? I don't trust it. Boy, you two sure do run around a bunch, her. You'd never catch me doing that. I'd get all sweaty. Left or right? I think the pink stands out more, so I might remember it later. Quick! Hide, Professor! I see Inspector Chelmy over there! No need for alarm, Luke. He's likely just gathering information about Dr. Schrader's case. It seems he's finally figured out that the key to solving it lies here in full sense. It's as if the Inspector's almost got a handle on things for once. Oh my god. So let me confirm. This here is the man you've witnessed asking around about the Elysian box. No doubt about it now. Yep. The man in the photograph's the one. I don't remember that beard anywhere. Well, that seals the deal, just as I suspected. It seems he did make his way to Fulsense. Come along now, Barton. We're moving on. Oh, yes. Right behind you, sir. Sorry, sir, but I can't let you in like that. We've got a dress code, see? I'll need to take that hat from you. So you're saying that we can enter if I give you a hat? A hat or my hat? Wait. I don't think... What do you mean? Why did you switch it to a hat? I don't think that was the implication of what he was saying. What am I looking at? Taking Felix's request for that hat at face value, you must now find another hat. No. That's not what the word that means. You can't just replace it with something else. Even the quote doesn't make sense. It says that hat, not a hat. You can't just give him a hat. Maybe this was like a trick in... Are these games originally in Japanese? I think they are. Like maybe they can't translate the joke, because that doesn't work. You can't say that hat. Also, the quote kept changing, because he said a hat a minute ago, not that hat. Or at least we did a second ago. Like we changed the word. You must now find another hat to hand over to the pattern from the pattern shown below. The hat you're looking for will be the same shape and size as the one shown above, but it might not be facing the same direction. Okay. Same size and shape, so it's not going to be any smaller. Okay, I think I see it. Sure hope it worked.
This should do the trick.
Okay, there we go. I was about to say, I sure hope I solved this fast, because there's nothing to talk about on my commentary show right now. Just, well, look for the shape, it's in there somewhere. If it takes you 20 minutes, then I guess we just edit that all out. There we are. As requested, I have provided you with that hat. No, you haven't. Huh? Professor, I don't think that's quite what he meant. Are you stupid? Be that as it may, I'm not taking my hat off. Let's go, Luke. But I was really looking forward to stopping in for a snack. A gentleman never takes off his hat, Luke. That's all I have to say about it. Never? How do you sleep? This is too deep for me. How'd you get a toy out of that? It seems like a huge percentage of the clues have to say the same thing over and over again, which is that it'll go at the hamster will go after this when it's 3 spaces away, but it'll go for an apple first. And it's like, okay. I feel like the apple can just say that. Yeah, the apple says it's his favorite snack and he'll ignore everything else. So why do you have to also explain the apple in every other item? Anyway. Go!
Why do I gotta move around? It's not fair.
At least I was right that the professor was just being stupid. Like, that was just a waste of time. Like, no. You can't just be like, aha, here's a completely unrelated hat. That's not what a dress code is, Professor. And it's not even like a clever twist on the thing he said, because he said that hat. That is specifically a word that specifies a specific thing and isn't substitutable. It is not a hat. He's not like, oh dang, you want to get in the club? Well, you can only get in if you solve this portal puzzle. Something has to press this button. Oh, any hat will do. He says, give me your hat. Because this is dress code. I don't... If he's supposed to be a gentleman, I feel like being a weird jackass in those situations is not a good example of his behavior. Like it's a bad sign for his supposed code of conduct if he's gonna be that pointlessly difficult. But also, doesn't he sleep without a hat? Surely? Have a look at these photos of the town, Luke. Whoever took them clearly has a fine eye for detail. But if you look closely, you can see that the pictures are chronologically out of order. Do you think you can figure out where each picture belongs? These 4 photographs decorate the wall of Joseph's photo station. Each photo depicts the same area and was taken in the exact same time of day. However, each photo was taken at a different point in time. If you look carefully, you can figure out the order in which these pictures were taken. Enter your answer using the letters attached to each picture, starting with the earliest. So, like so. A, B, C, D. But early, so I click on the letters in the order that they happened in. So first thing I notice is that the window on the left side of the screen looks like it broke at some point. I think B is it being broken and A is it being patched. It's a little hard to be sure what I'm looking at detail-wise. The A in lubricant, I think that's what the word is blacked out in one of them. I assume it's a light up sign that went dark and not just like graffiti or something. And then the lamp in the middle of the screen is missing in C. So I think C is the earliest because the lamp wasn't built yet. I assume the lamp was added and not subtracted. So going by that alone, even before I saw the A, because I actually saw the A afterwards, I would say it's C, B, A, D, because C is no lamp and whole window, B is broken window with lamp, A is patched window, and D is fixed window, replaced window. I don't know what to make of the A. It just is dark in one picture, but like I can't see right now whether or not the A was like that now or not. I don't know what that means. I believe this is the area right outside, but I don't know what it looked like a second ago, because I can't look at it. Okay, the door... The door's yellow. In A, the door is yellow, and in the other three, the door is green. That's weird. It could be that A is the last one, like everything's aged, the door got old, and the... I don't know. Because there's a lamp. So it could be C before the lamp, then B, broken window, D, fixed window, and then A, everything got aged, I guess? Something got put on the window, I can't really tell what that is, honestly. But no, because like that's the same crack right there, that's right there behind the patch. I guess maybe it's maybe it's optimistic to assume it gets fixed. It could be here's C, everything's flawless, then here's D, they added a lamppost, here's B, they added a broken window, and then here's A, there's a patch in the window, and that's old, and that's missing. It's just all aging. Yeah, that's actually the much cleaner approach, is just assuming it never got fixed. So, C... Oh. I must write them on the next screen or something? C, D, B, A. C, D, B, A.
Here goes.
Aha!
That was almost too easy.
Too easy. There we are. If these photos are any indication, Full Sense has quite a rich and lengthy history. A window was broken, and then not fixed. Whoa. How neat! With enough of these pictures, I bet you could see exactly how the town developed. You bring up an interesting point, Luke. But if these photos are that old, why do they look so new? Now that you mention it, I suppose they do look new. Normally with shots this old, the image is a bit more deteriorated. I wonder what method the studio uses to keep these photos so immaculate. Not to mention that just like photography would be like relatively newer back then, so like it would be changing more rapidly. Like the format would not match from photo to photo necessarily as much. What stands out to me is it's just odd to hear him talk about how rich the history of this place is when fucking nothing changed. Like, no. They put in a lamp post and a sign went out. What are you talking about? Like, anyone who just grew up in a town has probably seen photos of it be looking really different. Like, oh god, this is before they even built the school and stuff like that. So having them talk in those terms about a place that's just like, wow, they added a lamppost. Okay. Usually art is more fantastical than life, but okay. There are all sorts of people portrayed here. I wonder what they use this huge camera for. They drop it on unruly children. This showcase is full of very old cameras. My, these photos look stunningly new for their age. How do you manage that? Sorry, sir, but that's a bit of a trade secret. Get the fuck out of my house. Oh, we're not talking about it. Okay. Nice knowing you, sir. Bye-bye. You okay? He's freaking out. Ugh. What seems to be ailing you? Every day I stand out here for hours and hours. All that standing really does number on my knees. I should really start scheduling a mid-shift break or something. Being a doorman does sound like an exhausting job. Perhaps a cup of tea would help restore your spirits. I'd be happy to brew some. Sure, but I gotta warn you, working at a 5-star restaurant has made me picky about what I drink. If you can brew up something that tastes mild with a hint of spice, I'd be a happy capper. Shit. Sweet. Nope. Art. Spicy. Mild. Refreshing. I forgot to brew it. Maybe I'm just dumb about what things are called, but like, what does being mild taste like? Isn't mild an intensity flavor? Isn't mild like an intensity, not a flavor? Like mild spice? Do. Let's see. Mild tea with a spicy kick. Oh, sweetness. Whoops. Mild, spicy, sweet. It'd be helpful if that... Damn it. It'd be helpful if that part of the screen was there when I'm actually brewing it. Sweet, mild, spicy. Okay. My bad. I was dumb. Dream spice. My, what a peculiar blend this is. Subtle and spicy all at once. And sweet at the end to boot. I especially like how the initial heat comes to balance out the sweetness that comes later. I never imagined spicy and sweet could work so well together. Me when I'm mixing peppers and pineapple. It's one of the things I specifically like to mix together. That's some good tea. Felix seems restored and ready to do some karate kicks. Good luck. I know good tea when I taste it, and my friend, that tea of yours is out of this world. Working as a doorman at the best restaurant in town, I gotta be on the ball 100% of the time. I mean, back in the day, even the Duke's son and his fiancée used to come here. They've got customers like that, service has to be perfect from the second they walk up. Wow, 4 cents is elite, huh? That's right, little man. I'm thinking on it, I haven't seen those two in a while now. I sure hope they visit us again sometime. Let us in! Let us in! You're just about the strangest two customers I've ever met. We're not customers. We haven't been allowed in. The lamppost is there. Okay, oh right, so the door is currently the yellowish color. The sign is fixed. Let's see, Lobster House, that's what it is. I gotcha. I understand. What am I looking at? Greetings, upsetting Bloodborne dog? Oh god. Uh-huh. Are you wearing a diaper? He doesn't appear to be in a very good mood, Luke. Let me see if I can find out what the problem is. Does Baby need a nappy? Hey there, fellow. Blah, blah, rah, 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 dog noises. Yow! Good heavens, Luke, are you hurt? I realize now as the adult in the room, I probably shouldn't let the child approach upset dogs. I don't think he's in the mood for conversation right now. I need a shot or I'm going to be dead in 2 days. Indeed. Let's find another way through town. Passing through here is rather difficult right now. Luke's fucked. It's extremely dangerous. Big gate? You found a hint coin. Whoa, more hint coins. They're saying to go there for the objective, so I should go here instead. So, here's the museum. Let's have a closer look at that gate, shall we? That's not what I clicked on. Are they forcing me to go that way? I'll go around then, you can't stop me. Sir, a minute please. Oh, hello there. You're the fellow with Inspector Chelmy, aren't you? Yeah, yes. The name's Barton, sir. I am a constable serving under Inspector Chelmy, sir. I feel obliged to let you know you may want to reconsider bringing the child up this way. Is it the red light district? Why? What's up ahead? Boobs. Things best left unknown till you're older, lad. My advice is to do an about-face and leave the area. I don't think he'll budge on this, Luke. We'll have to find another path leading up that way. So you can't go that way anyway, it's the red light district. Which means you probably can't ever go there, because if this game... Even if you could get rid of Luke, the game's probably meant for Luke's age group, so you're probably never meant to go there. That's just like a little nod. So I guess this whole place is just a hallway, you just keep going forward. This must be the museum. But the gate's shut tight. I don't think they're open right now. I was hoping we'd find some useful information inside, but there's no sense in standing around waiting. For the time being, let's continue our investigation elsewhere. We decided to search... Yeah, the thing I was doing. You're not gonna believe this, but our goal is to walk around and look for... Oops, I'm in the red area. What's gonna happen now? I guess we are gonna go in here.
Greetings, strangers. Let me guess. You come here seeking fame and fortune.
Actually, we're searching for an item called the Elysian Box. Does that name sound familiar?
Wow. Now that's a fantastic name. Here's a puzzle for sharing that great name with me.
What? What? It's the Halo number, I think. Isn't 117 this John Spartan's name? A yellowed photograph shows 3 couples. In the photo, no man is standing directly above his spouse. Of the 3 men, 2 women, 2 are sisters and are sitting next to each other. The elder sister's husband is a man without a mustache. Everyone in the picture is wearing a hat. Save the husband of the younger sister. The woman unrelated to the other 2 is sitting in front of the younger sister's husband. Can you find out the... Okay. Okay. Everyone's wearing a hat save for the husband of the younger sister. This is the younger sister, husband. The elder sister's husband is a man without the mustache. Elder. And then neither of them are in front of their siblings. The 2 siblings are next to each other, but neither of them are in front of their spouse. Let's see here. The elder sister's husband is a man without a mustache. Everyone is wearing a hat, save the husband of the younger sister. 2 are sisters are sitting next to each other. So one of these has to be the elder, and one of these has to be the younger, and they have to be next to each other. So it could be elder younger, or it could be elder younger. Specifically the elder sitting on the right of the younger, because that's just the 2 options available. Let's see. And neither sister has to be on either side. Guess we'll use N. The woman unrelated to the other two is sitting in front of the younger sister's husband. Oh, so I just gave it to us. Neither. Elder, younger. Yen. So they just made that easy for us, I guess. Can you find the man? So can you find the man in this bunch who is married to the neither sister? It's B. Fuck, I knew that way earlier anyway. Okay, whatever. That one.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Whoa!
Ha! Wonderful.
Europe? Had to respond to Cobb about something.
Good job, and good luck finding out that whatchamacallit, you know, the thingy with the great name. I bet when you open, a genie pops out and grants you a wish or something. Neato. The Elysian box has such a nice ring to it. What genius came up with that gem of a name?
It's like not an entirely necessary comparison, although I do think about them in relation to each other because of the fact that they both share a game at one point. I actually think they might share like either a developer or a publisher or something, Phoenix Wright and Leighton, I'm not sure. But what comes to mind is that like in Phoenix Wright, when you do wander around the environment doing everything, on top of the fact that the puzzles actually relate to what's happening in some way, like an adventure game, the characters relate to what's happening, because the characters are tied to the narrative and the mystery. And so it's about unpacking how everyone plays into the plot. Like there's a suspect. Pretty much every time, just the person who you're currently accusing, who's currently accusing your person and you're defending, is almost always the murderer. So it's kind of it's almost like a foregone conclusion. Well, actually, who's being prosecuted, who's on the witness stand every day changes each of the 3 days usually. I remember actually, but it's always leading up to like the third day's witness always being the murderer or whatever, because that's just the formula. But like you go each day back to the crime scene and investigate the clues, and there's people on the site that are related to the mystery, and like the characters you keep talking to are usually the people that are hiding something from you, or know something, or don't know they know something, or whatever. So they're all tied to what's going on. I think part of my disappointment with Leighton is that on top of everything else about its mystery, its worlds are populated with just a bunch of random people. Like just cardboard cutout, sort of like theme park attraction extras. It does feel like a theme park, actually. Like the way you just walk around a theme park and there just are characters around sometimes. But like, they're not like going anywhere overall. They're just kind of like there, hanging out, you know. And then you talk to them like, I'm this character. Bye. And then that's the interaction. Each zone will generally set up somebody who will be in the narrative, but they are surrounded by just dozens of just kind of like space fillers. Let's see here. Go down to get to the previous screen's version of this place. Oh, Mr. Beluga, it's been ages. I do hope you found what you were looking for. Like, these are the actual characters that matter.
I wish. I told Samuel to track it down, but the boy's about as useful as a broken pocket watch.
Oh, don't fret like that. It leaves wrinkles in that distinguished brow of yours, tee-hee. What do you say, Mr. B? Would you like to come inside and unwind for a bit? Professor, do you see that? Mr. Beluga just went into that cabaret. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Oh, my. Hello there, tall, dark, and handsome. Care to come in and catch the show tonight? I apologize, madam, but we're in the middle of... Aw, are you getting shy on me? Don't worry, hot stuff, I don't bite, tee-hee. Oh, and who's your little friend there? Aren't you a precious boy? Me? Sorry to change the subject, but I couldn't help but notice Mr. Beluga entering your cabaret. Oh? Are you friends with Mr. B? Something like that, yes. Tell me, does Mr. Beluga visit here often? Mr. Beluga is certainly a patron of the arts, that's for sure. I can't say much more, though. But you are a handsome devil, mister. So charming, so dapper, and such a gentleman. Show me you've got the brains to match those good looks, and maybe I'll let a few facts slip. The jeweled necklace. I just need the desk. I am an adult. Alright. I'm definitely not sitting stupid this whole time. Oh my goodness. Okay. I had this old necklace, but the thing is, it's not really my taste anymore. So I decided to sell it. But when I was getting it appraised the other day, I realized something weird. Each stone is worth a different amount, but if I break the necklace in 3 places, the 3 gem strands will be worth the same amount as one another. Can you believe it? Here, see if you can figure out where you gotta cut it to make that happen. Why would that thought cross your mind? Where did that come up? Oh, Jesus. Okay, if I break it in 3 places, the 3 gem strands will be worth the same amount as each other. Okay. Guess we gotta go all the way around. 9 plus 12 is 21. 22. 26. 34. 45. 34. Yeah, 45. 47. 51. 54, 60, 70, 77. I don't think 77's divisible by 3, so I think I fucked up. Let's pull out the calculator so I don't take 7 years to do this. Let's see, 9 plus 12 plus 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 7. 78. I was slightly off. So each of the strands has to be worth 26. All right. Let's see. 11, 19, 19, 24, 26. 7, 13, 23, no. 21, no. 17, 26. 9, 13, 15, 26. 13, 14, 26. Got it.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Correct.
There we have it.
That's right. Each strand of gems is worth $26. Pretty nice chunk of change. Handsome and smart. You're some catch, aren't you? Consider me smitten. About Mr. B, he's definitely here looking for something, but I can't say I know what. The search must be going badly because he's kind of crabby whenever I see him now. I don't have anything else to tell you about Mr. B, Handsome. I'm a performer, not a newswire. It's to be a theater of some sort. You literally already called it a cabaret. I guess maybe that option's... No, that option's not available before the conversation, because I think... Doesn't it happen when we walk in? Well, so much for keeping the kid away from the cabaret. Oh, she's stressed. Oh, that's the tea stress, sweat, streaks. Blah. Are you quite alright, madam? You look a bit fatigued. Oh, there I go again, spacing out. Sorry, I'm just feeling run down. And thirsty. Business is usually pretty slow at this hour. Maybe I should take a break or something. Your job must be very taxing. Be sure to schedule in some time to recuperate. Aw, it's so nice of you to worry about me, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. You're right, though. I need to schedule some more Ilyana time. If you'd like, I think we could fix you some tea. How does that sound to you? Oh, that sounds wonderful. If you really want to thrill this girl, make me something refreshing and sweet. Since you're so sweet, I'm sure you'll have no problem whipping something up that matches. I think we might be able to make something that fits the bill. Let's see. I think this already was the sweet and refreshing one. It's loved by women and children. Gendered tea. Absolutely divine. I keep thinking that they're going to respond to it, because it sounds like them exclaiming about the food, but it's just narration. Third-person narration that nobody's experiencing. Absolutely divine. A smile spreads across Ilyana's face. She seems restored and in high spirits. Oh, now that is nice. You sure know your way around a teapot, Sugar. That's one of the things that goes in a tea sometimes. There have been some new faces here in town recently, but none of them are as nice as yours. Tee-hee? It's a joke about the tea now. In fact, just a little while ago, an older gentleman came to town with a box of all studded with gems. Looks-wise, he didn't hold a candle to you, of course, but he was pretty cute in his own way. Now, if you two ever get tired of running around, stop in and say hi, you hear? Tee-hee-hee. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Alrighty, that is a big bow. Do you think it's physical? Or like, not fit, I mean, it's obviously physical. Do you think it's cloth or plastic or what? Or like it's probably a facade, I guess. Anyway. Where does this go? Back where I came, okay. Where does... This should go back to the square, but then the other direction would be new? The floor vagina had a coin in it. Looks like the witch's hut, actually. Say, there's that shack again. Granny Riddleton's shack. If we overlook puzzles along the course of our journey, we know where we can go, don't we, Luke? Did I miss more? I'm a genius! No, it's been like 5 minutes since the last time. The last time on the train was like a pretty linear sequence.
Yep. I decided to set up camp in town. Pretty spiffy digs, don't you think?
Look at the way she pulled her. She's. If you lose track of puzzles while running around town, have a look in here.
Don't let those puzzles pile up in here. You could regret it later.
Wait. Why would I regret it later? It just means more puzzles. All killer, no filler, except for the argument that some of the puzzles are filler. The Leighton series might be one of the cases where it's almost a wasted effort to try to parse which parts are filler and which parts of the main game. Because this, I don't know, 20% of it's the main story, I guess.
Do you see that watchtower, Professor? There's something very suspicious about it, isn't there?
Ignoring that, clicking on the pointy man.
It's not every day I see new faces. Are you visiting from out of town?
Yes, in a way, but we're not here to sightsee. We're searching for an antique known as the Elysian Box. Have you heard of it?
Well, no, that's the first I've ever heard of it. I wish I had some information for you. Oh, I just can't let visitors to our great town go away empty-handed. Here, it's not a keychain, but please take this puzzle of mine as a souvenir for faucets.
Blah. That voice came from me just jamming my chin into my chest and it being just physically difficult to talk at that point. 5 shapes are arranged in a sequence, but the fourth shape is missing. Use the 4 visible shapes to determine whether A, B, C, or D should be inserted as the 4th shape in the sequence. What? So I guess there's just like a logical progression from 1 to 5, and one of these is the shape that's left over. I don't know if it's supposed to be a rotational puzzle exactly. I don't think it's rotational, because 2 would have gouges on every single side. So 1 can't be 2. They can't be the same shape rotated. So a full block, then 2 slices through it. It's not entirely clear what's happening with 3. I don't know for sure if I'm supposed to think that those are 2 slices going through it but on the same plane as each other, or if it's a little like right angle turn through one side. Hmm. 5 is the mirror image of 2. Which is kind of unhelpful. A sequence of 5 is such a weird number for establishing a pattern. In part because it's not clear. Because 2 and 5 are easy to relate to each other, but 2 and 5 are really weird numbers to relate to each other in a sequence. Like, what's the relationship between 1 and 2? Or 2 and 3? Why does it go from nothing on 1 to a bottom and top gouge on 2 to 2 gouges on the bottom in 3? And 5 has a top and bottom again, but inverted. It's not rotational. Not only would all the cuts be impossible to hide for 1, but like the top, there's no clean surface for 5 and 2 to exist. I don't know. It's hard to be sure. I don't know if the gouge on the the gouge on the top of 5 and 2 goes all the way around, but I don't have a way of knowing if it does on the bottom. No, I see it. That's not clear for 1, but the shape looks like a 2, and looks like a 3, and looks like a 5. Like, basically like that. Like 2, 3, 5. 1 is just blank, I guess. So I just picked the one that looks like a 4. That'd be 7. That's 0, or I guess. So this is 4.
Consider this puzzle solved. A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Nice work there, fellows. I hate to burst your bubble, but if your lead on this Elysian box led you here, you may be out of luck. See, many of the residents who were full-tense experts skedaddled a few years ago. It all started over a strange rumor that spread through the town like wildfire.
Ah, so even if we were in the right place, there may be no one left to ask. Tell me, what was this rumor?
Some silly thing about a curse. I'm not entirely clear on it, to be honest. But I often find myself wondering where all those people who left false sense ended up.
Puzzle 85. The missing shape is now in your puzzle index. I don't know why I clicked on it again. Okay. I don't know why I read that out either. It's not on autopilot sometimes. It's lit up bright as day out here. Did you guys just say it's dark? Like last time? Or am I thinking of a different thing I played? Because I think I thought it when we came into this town, I was like, what do you mean it's dark? It's super bright all the time here. It's like front of a theater lighting where you're like, where it's so clear it's practically daylight. What is this thingy? Can you eat it? Can't just keep putting things in your mouth, kid. What does this contraption do? These shelves are full of recipes and ingredients. Whoa, this whole place is covered in garlic. And it definitely smells like it. Blech. Yes, it's very pungent. It's a good thing I brought that handkerchief. My eyes are watering. My nose hurts just being in here. Finally, some customers. Come in, come in. It's been months since anyone came by the shop. My shop's been out of favor with the townsfolk recently. I can see why. Or rather, I can smell why. It's hard to breathe, let alone shop around all this garlic. Ah! Mean. Garlic's good. So it smells. Big whoop. It's not here to class up the shop, you know. It's here for protection. We've got what you might call a bit of a vampire problem here in town, and garlic's keeping them away, you see. Vampires? Seriously? Do I look like I'm joking, boy? See, that castle over there? That's where the freaky guy lives. At least, that's what people say. I'm not saying I believe in talk, but you can never be too prepared, you know. I don't believe them. I'm just covering my house in vampire protections to the point where it's damaging my business. But I don't believe them. You out-of-towners should keep an eye out for vampires, just in case. If it really comes down to it, you can always hide out in my shop. It's vampire-proof. Unproven. Untested. Not FDA approved. Okay. I assume some of these places will come up later. Do you see that watchtower, Professor? There's something very suspicious about it, isn't there? That one? There. This barricade has been reinforced with some sizable names. I can't tell for sure, but I'm assuming this is the watchtower, because it looks really big on the map. Oh, you can go for it, you just can't go there by clicking on it. Weird. The rules are all over the place whether or not clicking on a thing will open the door or whatever. In particular, it's just like, you travel around in parts of the street by clicking on the walk button, then clicking the direction, but you can enter doors by just clicking on them without doing that. But sometimes clicking on the door uses the rule set of walking down the street instead, for some reason. It's weird. Yeah. Ah. That scared me silly, Professor. What's making that awful ruckus? I don't know, but I think it's coming from right above us. Quick, Luke, up the stairs. Who was that? Oh, it was just myself. Oh, I thought that was a bloody shoe. This is also arrow. Okay. They might as well just make it always arrows, honestly. Is that more garlic? It's pretty stinky up here. I don't honestly know how bad could it be. It's open air out here. We're not even indoors.
Ugh. Gold darn vampires, get off my property.
Are you alright, mister?
Huh? Who goes there? You don't need to tell me. I know vampire henchmen when I see them.
Whoa, wait a second. What are you talking about? We just heard a scream and came to investigate.
Say what you will, Sonny, but it won't do you no good. I see through your vampire lies. You really want me to believe you're not vampires, you'll solve this puzzle. You do it quickly. Swallow this garlic, that's the puzzle. the whole clove.
A clove isn't that much, is it? Isn't the clove just the little pieces, not the whole thing, or whatever? Whatever. An entire bulb of garlic, just all at once. Cartoon throat dent. In a quiet town, there's a tower that commands a view of the whole town. Since you can see the whole town from the tower, logic dictates that you should be able to see the top of the tower from anywhere in town. However, there's one place in town on the map from below from which you clearly have no chance of seeing the top of the tower. Find and circle this place. Why would a vampire not be able to solve this? This seems stupid. I feel like this is a stupid riddle. You can't see the top of the tower when you're behind something. Like that building, or that building, or that building, or that Coliseum, or that wall thingy, or arch, or this parking building thing, or behind that bus, or in the forest, or in the mountains. That might not be in the part of the town. I'm just gonna say the Coliseum. Big tall walls and you're in the middle of it, so you probably can't see over them very well, but I think this is a bad riddle, because I guess maybe it's an acceptable riddle because it says no chance of seeing the top of the tower. No way, it's impossible. Maybe that's the explanation, because I'm like, if you're just behind something, you can't see it. I don't understand.
Here goes.
No.
Oops, that wasn't right.
You're looking for a place with a... Yeah, I know. I get it. They're being smartasses.
They're being a big old smart ass is what they're doing. Just a huge old smart ass. They mean inside the tower. You can't see the top of the tower because you're
Let's
inside
see
the
if this
tower.
works.
Yep.
Piece of cake.
That's the trick. Is like, what is the clever, sneaky solution thingy?
Pretty good for a vampire. Unless you're not one of these bloodsuckers underlings after all. If that's how it is, then listen to me when I tell you you'd best keep an eye on that castle over yonder. It's the nest of one of the most fearsome undead creatures around. A real, live vampire.
A real live vampire, you say?
Don't make me say it again, buddy.
Rumors have surfaced regarding a vampire said to live in the castle at the edge of town. Terrified by such talk, not a soul in full sense dares to draw near the castle. Could a vampire actually be living in Herson Castle?
Finding a lead out here is pretty slow going, huh? Indeed. Perhaps our only choice really is to wait for the Herson Museum to open up. Gosh, if that's the case, maybe we should revisit the museum. You never know, it might have opened while we were away. Alright. You've got a point. I hope the place proves more useful to us this time than it did last.
We are just wandering around at random, basically. But at least in this case, they tell us where to go. Because other games, there are games that use this logic for getting around, and you're like, oh, just wander around randomly until you finally trigger something.
See that castle way off yonder? That's the vampire's lair. I see him up there swooshing around in his fancy cape. I just know he's gunning for me and anyone else who'd stand up and fight for the town.
Yeah, I gotta remember, when a puzzle sounds logically inconsistent or kind of dumb, I need to just look for, okay, what's the smart-ass answer? Because that's the answer. That's what they want me to do. That's the trick to figuring out what the actual answer is.
You two, there's an emergency. We're all in big trouble now.
Oh no, what's going on?
It's my tea. It's not sweet at all. How's a man supposed to fight vampires without sweet tea? How? I was going to go home and brew a new batch, but I can't leave my post. We're trapped here like rats.
Oh, is that all?
What do you mean, is that all? What do we do if the vampire bursts in? How will I quench my thirst mid-combat?
Is this a cereal commercial? Exactly what kind of tea would allow you to continue your fight?
It's a secret monster fighting recipe handed down from my great-great-granddaddy. It's got joy root clover and a little something else that makes it smoky and it's smoky and thirst obliterating.
I see. I believe we might be able to make you something that would approximate that tea.
Oh, aren't you well prepared? All right then, if you can brew it, bring it on.
Brew.
Oh, no, not serve. Okay, yeah. Wait, right. Serve is how you leave the screen. That's confusing. All right. Smoky, sweet, clover. Oasis leaf, brisk berry, bell tart, dream fluff, pepper cherry. Yeah, I don't have anything clover. I only have sweet and nothing smoky. So we are fucked. Here's the wrong one. As a treat.
Ugh, what's this swill? Next time you make a pile of this stuff, do me a favor and give it to the vampire.
That's not very nice. Yeah, I did suspect that if you leave and come back, he'll get all sweaty on you. Wait, did he stop being sweaty? Maybe you have to wait for him to get thirsty again? They want you to serve tea to everybody. And you also have to like leave and come back each time to get a trigger for each character. No, it's this place. Going left out of town. Oh, gate is broken down. That's suspicious. What do you think is going on here?
This place gives me a bad feeling. Who else knows what's going down the path?
Going onto the path anyway? I don't know. I clicked too fast. From what I can see, it's just an expanse of wilderness. Let's leave it be for now.
That's called Act 3.
We can't go there yet. Not until we discover that, I don't know, Sweeney Todd is in this game. Not Sweeney Todd. The guy from the Headless Horseman story, damn it. Cobblepot, no. Oh, hello, you two. Imagine seeing you here. Headed to the north side of town, are you?
I guess so. What's up there anyhow?
Oh, nothing really, just some old houses. I've got letters from folks in Dropstone for them.
Wow, there are people from Dropstone sending letters all the way out here to the secret town that's hard to get to? It's a secret? But completely porous and everyone's here?
That's what I thought at first too, but something connects Dropstone to this place. It's hard to describe it in words, so I'll leave it at that. Whoops, I've got a dash. The mail can't be late.
Mr. Parcell, please wait a moment. Gosh, he didn't even look back once. He must be incredibly focused on delivering the mail.
Quite a perplexing individual, that one. But never mind him. For now, we must focus on our investigation. It seems to be a very historical building.
What a tall building. I bet the view from up there is fantastic.
Nope, can't go further in. Been most directions now. Go back south and then to the side. Oh, gate's open.
Look at that. The gate appears to be open now. Now we can finally go inside. The secret was to wander in random directions for a while. Anyway. That statue's eyes seem to be glowing. Eek! Luke, do you hear that? It sounds like the conductor and Mr. Beluga are arguing again.
Nothing. You don't even have so much as a lead on it? I thought I told you to find it and find it fast.
Uncle, you gotta cut me some slack. It's no piece of cake sneaking around with that pig on my tail. Plus, that professor dude from London has been playing detective too. Keeping a low profile takes it out of a guy. You know what I'm saying? My feet are killing me from all this running around. How about you let me take a break? Besides, if I get caught sneaking around like this...
You always were a layabout, Samuel. Quit your whining and get back to the task at hand. Till you find that box, I'd better not hear the word break coming out of your mouth.
Gosh, Mr. Beluga really let him have it. You think he opened up his gate too? I'm not sure, though it appears that while the gate is open, the museum itself is still closed. But let's put this discussion aside for a moment. Tell me, Luke, do you recognize the symbol at our feet?
Can we walk a little closer? The stone has been worn down over the years, but the design is one I've seen before.
Sure, it looks like the symbol on the book we found lying out in the street.
That it does. But I'm certain I've seen something like it in another location too. But where was it? Ah, yes. Now I've got it. I don't know, it kind of looks like a snake. Can we look at it better? You say it's at your feet, so can I see it from the angle you're looking at it instead of trying to look at this blurry, squished angle?
What is it, Professor?
We must locate Inspector Chelmy at once. I need to see that photo we acquired from the crime scene.
But this town is so big. How are we going to track him down?
Well, it's quite late now. He may have returned to the hotel for the night. What do you think?
You're probably right. Quick, let's head back to the hotel.
Let's continue scraping every piece of the map for secret puzzles. And eventually arrive at the hotel. They won't let me look at it directly. Rude.
I'm liking the point. Watch out, I'm gonna point.
Why his hands are just feet?
Howdy, my name's Gregorio, and I'd sooner run around in a chicken suit than go a day without chess.
No, not chess puzzles.
You wanna get on my good side and hear what I have to say? Fine, but first a little chess.
Well, this should be interesting. Not the chess puzzles. A Knight's Tour 1. Lead the knight on a trip around the board below. Chess knights move 2 squares forward and 1 square perpendicular on each turn. The initial direction can be up, down, left, or right. Move this knight around the entire board, landing in each square only once. Huh. Oh, those indicate where you can go, I guess. Let's see. Da, da, da. Da. Da, 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 da. That would have gone everywhere except here and here. Da, 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 da. And then I get trapped. Da, da, da. It really does trap me where I can't go anywhere else each step. Do, 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 do. Do. Might be it? I don't know. Nope. There we go. The real answer was just to keep clicking.
And now to test my theory.
Planning it all out is hard, but just picking new choices over and over again, that works fine.
Very nice, sonny boy. There's more where that came from, but let's take a breather for now so I can yammer at you. Back in the day, this town was full of aristocratic families, but one day they just up and left. The Herson family is pretty much the only upper crust family left in town.
Oh, I need a drink of water after that one. Is there any more from this guy?
Just so you know, next time we meet, I'll have something even more difficult for you.
Goodbye. Nope. Oh, we can go in? Yup, the museum doors are shut tight, all right? Nope. Yeah, they want me to go back. Might as well take the long way around to see if any surprise characters show up.
Or somebody just really wants some tea.
Hey, what's with the long face? Don't you know adults aren't allowed to pout? Honestly, I can't stand to see you look like that, so here's a little puzzle. Cheer up, will ya? How old am I? What? Hi there. Yeah, I know I'm all cute and stuff, but I am also really good at puzzles. What's that? You want to know my age? Well, okay. The difference between Mama's age and Papa's age is the same as my age. Oh, and my big sister is twice my age, which happens to be 1/3 my mom's age. And one more thing, in 5 years, I'll be my sister's age. Okay, enough hints, how old am I? Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So our parents are coincidentally currently the same age apart as she is. Big sister is twice my age, which happens to be 1/3 my mom's age. And one more thing, in 5 years I'll be my sister's age. Well, that gives the whole thing away, right? In 5 years I'll be my sister's age, who's twice my age. So I'm 5 and my sister's 10, right? Those are the only two numbers that are 5 apart and also double each other. Yeah. The rest of it's basically noise that you didn't need by comparison. So we're 5, our sister is 10, our mom is 30, and our dad is 35.
And now to test my theory.
I figured out all their ages, but that wasn't even
A true
necessary.
gentleman leaves no puzzle
I'm just
unsolved.
amazing. Or inefficient.
Hey, pretty good, Smarty Pants. So good, in fact, I think you deserve a reward.
What kind of a reward?
The best kind, a story. Okay, then here goes. See, a long time ago, there was another family in town as rich as the Hersons. But one of the younger daughters got her heart broken by some boy and decided to leave town. It could just be a story somebody made up, but if it's true, that boy must have been a total creep. Can you believe that girl left Full Sense just because some boy dumped her? What a wimp.
Damn. This person's just full of opinions. Oh, hello. Oh, he's doing a dunce voice the whole time. Say, you guys are from my town. I don't like that. I don't like the whole. This is the way the idiot sounds. This is an outdated trope that people don't use anymore usually because it's like. The implication is that you're doing an impression of somebody that is mentally handicapped, and that's funny. And you're like, no one does that anymore because it's like, wait, hang on a minute, this is like a weirdly mean-spirited thing to do. We sure are. How do you figure that out? Jesus Christ. 'Cause I am too. Plus, I got a trick for figuring out who's native and who's not. Wow, that sounds handy. Can you teach me how to do it too? Sure, I guess. But not for free. Tell you what, I've been feeling kind of down lately. You can make me go again. I'll show you how I do it. Well, I imagine we might be able to whip up a cup of tea that provides something of a mood boost. Gee, that sounds delicious. I haven't had tea in a real long time, yeah. Lift me out of this funk I'm in. It's refreshing. No. A timeless classic. Oh. I think the other one might just be called a classic, but now it's too late. Oh no, everyone's having a tea crisis.
I love sweet stuff, but there's not much out of it out here in Full Sense. Do you think you could help me?
How to satisfy a sweet tooth?
I know. Why don't we make you a cup of tea?
Capital idea, Luke.
Tea? Gosh, I was hoping for sugar-coated choco cookie cupcakes, but I guess tea could be tasty. Extra sweet, okay?
Alright, well, I know one sweet one. It's popular with children.
Who knew tea could be so yummy?
Tony grins wide. She seems restored and high in spirits.
You know, that wasn't half bad at all. Actually, it was pretty tasty, thanks a million. That's the first sweet thing I've had since Mommy made me give up candy. She says it rots your teeth.
Can you be thirsty now, please? I'd get all sweaty. Alright, well, I ruined his thing. Gonna have to come back later, maybe. See if we get lucky. Are you sweaty now? Oh, puzzle. Oh my. Now this is just a mess.
What's the matter, sir?
I had a set of cards that were arranged in a very specific way. Unfortunately, it seems to all be all thumbs. I seem to be all thumbs today, and I dropped them while dusting them. Though I can put the cards back in their proper order, there's no way I'd be able to sell them.
Looks like a job for me. I'll have those cards back in order before you know it.
Cards labeled 1 through 6 are arranged in order as shown below. Rearrange them so that they satisfy the following conditions. 1. The sum of the numbers of the top row must be less than the sum of the numbers in the bottom row. 2. The 2 cards in the right column must add up to 5. 3. The 5 card must be to the immediate left of the 4 card. 4. The 1 card must be placed on the left column. Okay. So 4 has to be on the right of 5. The right column has to add up to 5, which means it can't be 1 because it's on the left, and which can't be 4, it can't be 5, so it has to be 2 and 3. But this has to be 2 and 3, and this has to be 5 and 4. Yeah. Okay, left 1 has to be on the left column, so it could be on the top or the bottom, but the top has to be lower, so it's probably on the top. Yeah, 5 has to be to the left of the 4, which means it can't be in the same row as the 1. Let's see. 162, this is 9, this is 12. Top row must be 1 less than some of the bottom row. Oh. $10, $11. Yeah. So 10, 11. Top row is 1 less than the bottom row. 2 cards on the right up to 5. 5 must be immediately to the left of the 4. 1 must be on the left. Yep. We should be good.
That was almost too easy.
Good job. This is one of those puzzles where the... Why am I reading? I get it. I solved it already.
Ta-da! Good as new.
Oh, splendid work, young man. You've got quite a way with puzzles for a boy of your age.
Aw, thank you.
New hamster. When the hamster draws near, this item bursts open, surprising the hamster and causing him to run back the way he came until he bumps into something. Okay. So there. Just run all the way across twice. Then he'll be here, and then he'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess we can go back. I guess the question is whether or not you can use the apple to derail him mid-trip when he's on his way to something. Like, will he come... Let's see. I wonder if he'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Let's find out if this works anything like I will it is.
Whoa! My spare tire is gone!
The answer's no. Yeah, that sucks. I'm trying to come up with interesting interpretations of the rules to do slightly more interesting things. But yeah, 1, 2 comes within 3 spaces, so he should be going after the apple. It tracks the hamster if he's within 3 spaces of it. However, if the apple is also within 3 spaces, the hamster always goes to the apple instead. It's like, so why doesn't he redirect to the apple when he gets here? When he gets here, he should be like, oh wait, the apple's here, and then go over here, and then come over here. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Whoa! My spare tire is gone!
On one hand, do take care of your animals. You control their diet and their happiness and their entire environment, so if they're unhealthy, then you're doing that to them. But given that we already had a bunch of, like, mean fat jokes about the other lady and so on, and other things throughout this game, when you hit a character like this, you start to be like, huh. There's an entire extended minigame about making a fat character lose weight, and you're like, okay. Being fat is bad. Having high class and caring about money too much is good. You should all be infatuated with the couches on this train in first class. You repaired the camera. Now you can take photos! Use the camera to find hidden puzzles all over the place. When walking in certain locations, a camera icon will appear on screen. When it does, tap the icon to snap a photo of the area. Photos you've taken can be viewed in the album with the Professor's trunk. When viewing the album, tap any of your photos to play a photo hunt minigame. Your goal is to spot the differences between the touchscreen photo and the real place. The actual location is shown on the top screen. Tap any suspicious locations to place a circle on them, then tap here to submit your answer. If you answer correctly, the area is selected will be marked with an icon. Each photo has 3 elements that are slightly different from those of the actual location. When you find all 3 in a single location, visit the area where you took the photo. You try tapping on these photos that were... these places that are funny in the photo, who knows what you might find? Probably hint coins or something? How would you... talking about visiting the location, I'd assume you're still there because you took the photo, unless you, like, wandered off. That was a surprisingly long explanation. Let's see. Do you have any more? Each piece here is of considerable value, so please look with your eyes, not with your hands. You click on the camera from here. Oh, right, when the camera icon shows up. So I can't do it until it pops up. I guess we'll do a loop. Oh, it's this guy again. Classic. Classic tea. Serve. Yeah, his little preview text is not helpful at all. It's his other text. It's like, that mentions classic. That's some good tea. Smile spreads across Derby's face as he lets out a contented Now that's the stuff, I tell you. The classics really are the best. That goes for tea, too.
We've held up our end of the deal, so spill the beans. Which aren't in tea, they're in coffee. How do you tell outsiders from natives here?
It's as easy as pudding. Just got up real close and give him a sniff. Seems like most people from out of town smell like roses.
I see.
Because they've all been drugged by the roses. He's smart. He's a genius. If you don't do the dumb voice that they're writing him as, he just sounds normal. Alright, I should check the inside of the building too. We will now scrape the entire environment looking for camera icons. Finishing the camera does not give you camera guy dialogue, apparently. At this point, I just want to see what the camera icon looks like in practice. It's kind of showed like a vague silhouette in the corner earlier. Oops. Figured there's got to be an instance of the camera. There it is. Like, it's got to show up somewhere in the game that they've given me now, right? You taking a photo of this location. Something about it seems off. Oh, and they count as puzzles. Gotcha. Puzzles in their own right. Alright. Watchtower, first floor. This is a slightly awkward case of comparing the two screens when they have such different sizes. Whoops. We found our downside of this. Oh, here. This stuff's gone. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Huh. I was gonna call out the missing garlic up here, but it looks like this top of the photos, the top of this screen's just not on the screen. I think the two if I remember correctly from my very little exposure, I think the DS screens are different sizes slightly, which makes this kind of thing a little awkward. I mean, they're obviously different sizes when you look at it, and like the touch screen's bigger if I remember correctly, but I think they're different shapes slightly, which is why the two screens also don't match up quite. That throws me off a bit that the two screens are different, just fit different parts of the screen. So, looping around, here's a mirror, a little candle, magnifying glasses or something? Mirror desk, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. There's 3 mirrors on the wall. These three. Two mirrors here. Two mirrors here. What?
What the heck's going on here?
Do I just say here? What happens if I only got one of
Let's see
them?
if this works.
Okay.
Leighton's apprentice strikes again.
Do you only do one at a time and the differences change? Maybe I just never found it. Oh. Broken mirror.
Consider this
I don't know if that
puzzle
was
solved.
that there before? Now I'm paranoid.
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
I am become paranoid. So we need to worry about little details like that. Same number of steps. The wood on the floor is in the same places. Same number of hanging garlics. No. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely editing this down because this was torture to watch, I'm sure. Hopefully I remember to edit this out. The fucking, it's the same garlic, but it's backwards slightly. Oh, that's brutal. Okay.
This should do the trick.
Yeah, watching me stare at that will not be
there we
interesting.
have
I'm
it.
definitely gonna cut out a few minutes of that. You found all the differences in the photo, and now there's a puzzle hidden somewhere here. There might only be 9 photos total, which makes sense because that's still a lot of spot the difference puzzles. And then again, it probably has like, I don't know, like 200 total. Is it that one?
I've struck gold. I found a hidden puzzle.
There are 10 coins in each of the 5 bags below. One of these bags are filled with fake coins that are lighter than the real ones. A real coin weighs 10 units, but a fake coin is 1 unit lighter. If you're using a scale that can register up to 200 units, what is the fewest number of times you could use the scale to find the one bag filled with fake coins? There are 10 coins in each of the 5 bags below. One of the bags is filled with fake coins that are lighter than the real ones. So 4 of them weigh... Let's see, like 4 of them are 100 and 1 of them's 90, basically. Register up to 200 units? Okay. The fewest number of times you could use to find the scale with one bag filled with fake coins. Sometimes I feel like they need to specify a little more about what the rules are. What do they mean by the fewest number of times to use the scale to find the one bag? Because technically the answer is 1. Just put 1 bag on it, and if it's the fake bag, then you got it in 1. Congrats. Like, is that the answer? The trick answer? Because otherwise, like, yeah, you can split them into, like, a set of 2 and a set of 3. And those would both technically give you the answer of which one of those 2 sets has it. Like, if the set of 2 has it... Has, because if you weigh 3 of them... Oh, wait, no. No, because yeah, 3 would always be over 200, so that doesn't work. But you can weigh any sets of 2, and if it weighs 200, then you can rule them out. If it weighs less than that, then that's the one. I'm sorry, it's gnawing at me. I have to check. Is the trick answer 1? Is that what they're doing? Because if you just happen to weigh the correct one, then you're right. Okay, yeah, I'm wasting my time.
Huh. Wonderful.
Wait, what is this explanation here? You only need to use the scale once. From every bag, remove the number of coins indicated by the bag's number. Then just weigh these 15 coins once. If all the coins were real, their combined weight would be 150 units, but you'll end up with a weight less than this. The difference between this actual weight and the 150 units corresponds to the number of the bag of fake coins. That's a way more convoluted answer than I was expecting. And it's pretty clever. But it wasn't established that we were allowed to open the bags. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I could even think of those terms. I thought that didn't seem to be within the acceptable rules. Huh. That is a surprisingly clever answer, though. If you put in a different number of coins from each bag, then you can actually calculate which one is the fake one based on how many multiples of it are off.
Wow, that puzzle actually made me break a sweat.
Didn't make me break a sweat because I thought it was tricking me, and turned out to be having an incredibly clever answer beyond anything I expected. Whoops. Okay, so only one of the 3 spots has a secret. See, I have no new ingredients, so I can't do this guy, but also he hasn't gotten thirsty yet anyway. Look at this graph. Photograph number 8. Oh, they're not part of the overall total of the other puzzles. Oh, there's the eye. That's the most noteworthy thing in the entire room.
Puzzle solved.
At least there's only 9 of these.
Wonderful.
As far as a puzzle category, they're a little rough. This time we lost the bottom of the frame. We can't see this part, but we can see the top all the way. No, we can't. Yes, we can. No, we can't. Okay, I was using the chimney as a reference, but the chimney is one of the differences. But you also can't see all the way to the top because this little, you can only see a tiny little bit of the gap here, but you can see a whole lot more there. That really does throw off the spot the differences when the 2 photos are cropped differently. It's unfortunate.
Just leave it to me.
Yatta!
Piece of cake.
Bench normal, doorknob, 6 windows, light, window, big eye, some kind of horizontal thing, might be a log, a lantern behind the branch. Ah, those branches are slightly different.
Here goes.
Here goes.
Leighton's apprentice strikes again.
Whoa. You're like super smart, aren't you?
But is the secret puzzle just the eye, which I already clicked on? Nope, it's the branches.
I spy a hidden puzzle.
I wonder if maybe each time the hardest one to notice is the secret puzzle? 'Cause that's happened both times now. Oh goodness. On the edge of a forest lives a particularly messy mole. His burrow is clogged with trash that eventually he has to tidy up. However, being lazy, he decides to clean his place while doing the least work possible. In order to pick up all the trash in his burrow without passing through any of one tunnel twice, which of the holes? What is a thorough G? A through G should the mole start cleaning from? While moving through any tunnel twice is forbidden. He can pass through any junction between tunnels as often as he wants. Otherwise, he'd be fucked. Okay, so I picked the starting point, and that's this place where you can start off without ever making a mistake. It's just gonna be whichever one has a three-way connection. That's how these always work. I've played The Witness before. Yep. If you have to start at a three-way because otherwise, if I start here, you can't go. Like these are crisscross. They're all through the ways, and this one's just a corner, so you just go through. But this one, you start one way and then you loop back around and zigzag through to get the other 2 points. It has to be one that has an odd number of connections.
And now
This is applicable to so many different types of puzzle games that I can't even really specify which one I'm talking about exclusively.
leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Good job. Blah, 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 the thing I said. Why, yes, I am always right. Phew, that was a lot of work. Ooh. Okay. Now we're probably ready to head back.